In this video, I'll show you some date functions and formulas in Microsoft Excel, and I can say that you will find those super helpful. In this first example, I would like to just quickly show you how to find the number of days or years between one date and a second date. So here we have an employee data tracker. It shows a list of employees and the date that they began as an employee of this company. Let's say the company's 21st anniversary is coming up, and for that anniversary, I would like to know and be able to celebrate how long each employee has been an employee for the company. To do this is pretty simple. All I have to do is click, in this case in cell F3, type equals, and then I'm just going to click on the anniversary date, and then I'll type minus, and then I'll click the beginning date for this employee. Then I'll just tap enter on the keyboard, and that is the number of days between the beginning date and the end date, or the anniversary that we are going to be celebrating. Now the number of days may or may not be useful. So I'm going to click again on F3, and I'll go up here to the formula bar, and I'm going to put these parentheses and then divide it by 365. Tap enter on the keyboard, and that tells me how many years James has been an employee. I can just double click on the green square in the lower right corner of the cell, and it will copy that formula down this spreadsheet so that I can quickly know how long each employee has been an employee of the company. Now there are other ways to do the same thing. I didn't have to include the anniversary here in the spreadsheet, for example. But the key takeaway from this first example should be that you can subtract one date from another date to get the number of days between them, and then just divide by 12, divide it by 365, or whatever you want to do to find out how many years or months or date they have been your employees. Next, let's look at how I could use some date related function to pull out information from this date column here in C. So let's first get the day. I'm just going to start by typing equals, and then I'll type day. And then I'm just going to click on the date that I'm trying to pull the day out of. So C3, tap enter on the keyboard, and I have pulled out just the day number out of this date. I can click on the cell, double click on the green square, and it copies down the sheet. Let's try pulling out the month. I'll just tap equals, I'll type month, left parenthesis, and click on the date in question. I should put it in a right parenthesis, but I don't have to. I will just tap enter, and it pulls out the number 4. Just double click on the green square and it copies down the spreadsheet. Let's try here. I bet you can guess what is this. Equals year, left parenthesis, click on the date, tap enter, and then I click on the cell, double click on the green square, and it's done. Alright, so now what if you don't want to pull out the number of the day of the month or of the year, but rather you want to pull out the text version of the date? Let's try that. Here in I3, I just click and I'll type equals, and then I'll type the word text. Left parenthesis, I'll click the date in question, and then I'll put in a comma and in quotation marks. I am going to put 4 Ds representing day. I need to close the quote, tap enter, and Excel has pulled out the day as Tuesday. Now think about how cool is that. Excel knows that the 2nd April 2019 was a Tuesday, and it was able to extract that data out of this date because I used this formula. I'm going to double click on the green square to copy that information down the page. Let's do the same thing, but this time with month. So I type equals text, left parenthesis, and I'll click on the date in question. Put a comma in quotation marks. Instead of 4 Ds, I put 4 M's, close quote, right parenthesis, tap enter, and I have extracted the word April from this date. I'll double click on the green square to copy it down the spreadsheet. And now let's do year. Equals text, left parenthesis, click on the date, put quotation marks, 4 Y's for year, close quote, right parenthesis, tap enter, and then I can click on the cell, double click on the green square, which is the fill handle or autofill handle, and it copies the data down. So this is a really neat way to work with dates in Excel, and it's fun to think that all of this data is embedded just in the simple date here. And each of these pieces of information can be extracted from it using the formula and function that I have shared with you. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, please like, follow, subscribe, and when you do, click the bell so you will be notified when I post another video. Thanks for watching again.